This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 29. The people of the land have used oppression and exercised robbery, and have vexed the poor and needy. Yea, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. Brak the Yahweh, Brak the Yahushai, Brak the Yahweh, Brak the Yahushai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahushai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught me this truth. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And the reason why I brought out the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 29, is because the people that are ruling this land, all right, the ones that are causing oppression, robbing the poor, the needy, all right, are these Edomites, these so-called white people. And they're doing it mainly to the children of Israel. All right, and my main lesson for today is focused on the tribe of Gad, which are the so-called Native Americans of today. Because these Edomites, all right, set up treaties with them. Let me refrain from that. Let me retract that statement. Forced treaties upon the Native Americans and yet are not fulfilling their obligations. To a point now, federal funding is not going into these reservations, all right, to fund services. And this is what we're dealing with when you have the so-called white man ruling, these Edomites, all right? And Donald Trump is the face of these Edomites, all right? Because he can't get his money for this so-called wall, now people have to suffer, the poor, the needy, all right? Using oppression. That's what these devils are all about. So now let me get into this article. This is from ABC News. This came out yesterday. It says, shutdown puts strain on hundreds of Native Americans. The federal government shutdown has put a strain on hundreds of Native American tribes across the country that rely on federal funding guaranteed by treaties, acts of Congress, and other agreements. And let me get to this point right here, acts of Congress. So that proves that these Democrats don't give a damn either. All right? Because they're in the control of the House. All right? And where's the uproars and cries of how Native Americans are being treated? It just proves that, okay, these Edomites don't give a damn. And this whole notion of Republican, Democrat, all right, left versus right, it's all divide and conquer. All right? Because at the end of the day, they never gave a damn about the children of Israel. They don't care, all right, because they're the wicked, all right? And you must understand that if you're so-called Native American watching this video, all right, you cannot trust these devils, all right? They break every treaty, and you should know this, all right? You should know this already by now. Fallout from the federal government shutdown is hurting Native Americans as dwindling funds hamper access to healthcare and other services. The pain is especially deep in tribal communities with high rates of poverty and unemployment, where one person often supports an extended family, right? And this is affecting the poor and the needy, all right? These funds, all right, need to go into these reservations, all right, to take care of the poor and needy, those in poverty, those that are unemployment. And guess what? It's not going because of this government shutdown, because of these devils, because they can't get what they want. The effects were being felt far and wide. Let's get another scripture. Proverbs 28:15. As a roaring lion and a ranging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people, right? And who's the wicked ruler of today, man? All right? Who's the face of these Edomites? Donald Trump. All right? And he's a wicked ruler. Okay? And he's causing nothing but havoc on the poor. All right, cutting funds off that were guaranteed in the treaty for the tribe of Gad, because you so-called white people stole their land and put them in reservations. And that's why this place has to go. Now, let me get you a video out here, show you from a YouTube video that I found from a Gadite woman, a very attractive Gadite woman, and I claim, by the way, for those in the know, she makes a good point about what's going on with her people. And she lives in Alaska, but she breaks down what's going on throughout the country of the so-called Native Americans, all right, which are the tribe of Gad. So let me play this video.
All right, so federal government shutdowns impacts on Indian country. Now, there's a range of impacts on Indian country when the federal government shuts down. Everything from little everyday nitpicky things to big things that end up costing tribes millions of dollars in setbacks. So, let's get into it. One of the things that gets affected when the federal government shuts down is certain services like road plowing. With it being in the middle of winter and there's snow all across the country, certain roads aren't being taken care of right now during the federal government shutdown. As a result, there's been one tribe already that lost a tribal citizen because they couldn't get emergency services to the person in time due to road conditions.
There you go. So this, federal shutdown, this government shutdown is affecting the roadways where services, emergency personnel can't get, to certain locations within the reservation. All right? And this is what happens when the devil is ruling. These Edomites, when they can't get their way. Let me get to this article again, because it says, quite frankly, what she just stated. It says, in New Mexico, a lone police officer patrolled the Native American reservation, larger in size than Houston, right? Because you have certain reservations that are bigger than a lot of these cities, all right? On a ship that normally has 3 people, responding to multiple car wrecks during a snowstorm, emergency calls and requests for welfare checks, right? So you can't even get even these police officers, all right? One police officer, all right, to get to these areas where there were these wrecks because the roads are not being plowed. All right? And there's minimal or little or one only emergency personnel able that's working, in a city in a reservation that's bigger than the size of Houston. And it goes to show you like how wicked these people are, man. All right? Oppression. Vexing the poor and the needy. This these so-called white people, these Edomites, man. They gotta go. If you can't see, they gotta get out of rulership, man. You're wicked yourself. Let's get back to what she was stating.
Is a direct result of the government shutdown. The federal government also pairs with tribes to help with nutrition services. 276 tribes, an average of 76,000 people, depend on these nutrition services. During a government shutdown, those programs get affected. General assistance payments, foster care payments, heating services, natural resource development. There are tribes that depend on their natural resource development in order to support and sustain their own economies. Without these services, they can't provide money for the rest of their programs. If they're not receiving their federal grant dollars from the government, they can't afford to pay their workers their salaries. If they can't afford to pay their workers their salaries, then they can't develop their resources. If they can't develop their resources, they can't bring them to market. If they can't bring them to market, then they're not part of a competitive economy.
You see that? So it's also affecting, all right, wages. And this is and this proves that, hey man, these devils don't give a damn about nobody, man. All right? Because for God to have whatever little that's given to him by the federal government, all right, he needs these grants to be able to sustain a certain whatever living that's on the reservation, and be able to provide a wage for his workers. All right, and so this goes to the book of James, because it's you devils, you rich people, man, you Edomites that are causing hell upon the children of Israel. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you." Right, you Edomites are going to be judged for all this, by the way. All right. Your riches are corrupted, your garments are moth-eaten, your gold and silver is canker, and the rust thereof shall be a witness against you, shall eat your flesh as it were. You have reaped treasure together for the last days. Right, because America's going down, all right? America's going down, and all the things you've done to the children of Israel, that's going to be a recompense upon your own head. Verse 4, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is view kept by fraud." Right. All right. Because you're supposed to give this money to the Native Americans so they could be able to provide for their reservation. All right. And they are reaping down your fields because they're out there ones mining the oil fields on the reservation, mining the minerals that are on the reservation. And you're not giving them their money, which is kept to you by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord Sabaoth, meaning the Lord of armies. All right? Because the Lord is seeing all the wicked things you're doing, and that's why he's going to bring the heavy judgment upon your people, you so-called white people, you Edomites. You got a lot to pay for, man. What you're doing to the tribe of Gad, the so-called Native Americans, all right, which this was their land to begin with, what you're doing now with this federal government shutdown, oh yeah, the Lord sees it. And he's going to break skulls on you people. All right? Continuing on with this video. All right?
If they're not part of a competitive economy, then they can't support their government. It all comes full circle. One of the biggest impacts on tribes during a government shutdown is the Indian Health Service. A lot of the medical staff at these IHS facilities are federally funded positions. So, a lot of the medical staff are put on furlough during a government shutdown. Beyond that, even if the IHS service in your community is still running, there's a chance that you can't get a referral out to a different doctor for services that they can't provide in their clinic. Referrals during a government shutdown are limited to life-threatening situations only. Now,
you see that? So now the GAD can't even get referrals for their health. All right? Only if it's life-threatening. So you got to be dying. All right? Aren't you supposed to prevent people from dying? All right? You don't want to get it to that point. And that's what happens when you have the devil ruling. Okay, let's go back to this article, because what she just said, it's in this article. It says, elsewhere, federally funded road maintenance programs are operating with skeleton crews and struggling to keep roads clear on remote reservations. Right, what she just said in the beginning. Travel members said they can't get referrals for specialty care from the Indian Health Service if their conditions aren't life-threatening. Native American tribes rely heavily on funding guaranteed by treaties with the U.S. acts of Congress and other agreements for public safety, social services, education, and health care for their members. Because of the shutdown, tribal officials say some programs are on the brink of collapse and others are surviving, with tribes fulfilling funding gaps. About 9,000 Indian Health Service employees, or 60%, are working without pay, and 35% are working with funding streams not affected by the shutdown. So 60%, that's more than half, are working without pay. Now, what does that do to the morale of those? They have to come into work knowing they don't get paid, meaning they're not going to give a damn about people. They're only going to care about their problems. All right? You see how it trickles down? All right? Let's get back to this video. She makes a good point coming up.
There are certain tribes that are able to cover the cost of these medical workers' positions during the government shutdown. But if they cover the wages, if they do get paid back for the time that they're covering, it won't be until Congress passes a spending bill that includes funding for that chunk of time. I think we all know that Congress isn't agreeing on much right now, so that could take a while.
All right. Now, why isn't Congress agreeing? Right? This is what... This is the devil for you, these Edomites. Fox News. Dem flies to Puerto Rico on chartered jet. Right. Instead of them worrying about the government shutdown, they're out there in Puerto Rico having a good time. Meet with lobbyists. See Hamilton as shutdown drags on. Right. And this is Senator Bob Mendez. All right. He's out there in Puerto Rico just having a good time. In fact, here's a picture of his piece of shit ass. All right. This is a Democrat, by the way. Goes to show you there's no such thing as Republican and Democrats in terms of, looking after your well-being. All right, you Israelites. Okay. They don't give a damn. This is Bob Mendez out in Puerto Rico, no shirt on, with some ugly looking Edomite. All right. Just all messed up. All right. This is their mentality. They're out there partying. All right. Having a good old time in Puerto Rico on the beaches. All right. The sun's beaming on them. All right. They're out there, okay, just relaxing, drinking, okay, a margarita while you're suffering. All right. While you're suffering. In fact, this leads me to a scripture. This book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Right. These Edomites can't save you. All right. It's vain. It's worthless to think that these Edomites want to help you out. They're out there partying and chilling. All right. Having a good old time. All right. Bob Mendez, I personally believe, he's an Edomite. All right. And just using Mendez as a scapegoat to deceive our people, thinking that he's for the Hispanic community. Okay. The northern Hispanic community, so-called. All right. But here he is out there. All right. Chilling, having a good time, not giving a damn. All right. And that's for our people, man. This is vain to think that this government wants to take care of you, wants to help you out. They don't care. They're out there watching Hamilton in Puerto Rico while you're suffering. All right. Let's get back to this video.
Of these impacts are costing tribes millions of dollars already, and we're only in the second week of the shutdown. We don't know how long this is going to go. And to add a little salt in that wound, during this government shutdown, the Bureau of Indian Affairs itself is shut down. That means when Indian governments need to get in contact with the federal government, there's nobody to communicate with in Washington, D.C. The desks are empty.
Right, so if they're complaining, nobody's picking up the phone call. All right? Nobody's there because of the government shutdown. That's why these so-called white people, they gotta go, man. All right? And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, if you think the so-called white man is your ally, all right, he's your friend, you're an idiot, man. You deserve to get what you get.
Just a friendly reminder, it is written in the treaties that we were forced to sign in exchange for our land that the federal government will provide Native Americans with health care and nutrition and other supportive services. So they're not upholding their end of the bargain.
Right, because they're the devil. All right? Let's go now to the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy. Never trust thy enemy. This is what happens when you trust your enemy. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Right. He set these treaties up saying, hey, all right, don't worry. All right. We're going to give you government funding. All right. For you to give us this land. And guess what? Now he's breaking these treaties. All right. That's the enemy for you. And this is what happens when you trust the enemy. Okay. He screws you over. All right. Let's move on to this. Continuing on. There's another part. 16. Jumping down to 16. Book of Sirach. Chapter 12, verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. Yeah, we got the treaty for you. Don't worry, just give us your land. Okay, we have these reservations set up for you, but we're gonna make sure all the money, all the services are gonna be in your reservation, so you won't suffer anything. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagines how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood right. And guess what? He's now, found opportunity. And now you can't even complain, all right, to them because there's nobody in those Native American bureaus that she said, all right? There's nobody on the line. So it's just ringing because of this government shutdown, all right? Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, right? And these devils have been speaking lies. And now you see the lies. Now you see it. They're out there saying, no, we're for the people. We're for the poor, right? These Democrats, look what they're doing, hanging out in Puerto Rico, having a good old time. Senator. If he was sincere, he would not be in Puerto Rico. He would be at Capitol trying to open up the government. It goes to show you they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about you. Excuse my French, but sometimes, man, you got to get it raw and uncut. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, you better wake the hell up. You better wake the hell up. They don't care about you. Let me see. You know what? Let me go to book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Right. Woe to you, Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, as well as confusion of phrases, that go down to Egypt for help. And stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many. Right. You trusted in America. You saw how big and powerful America was. All this money America was getting. And now what? Government shutdown. You ain't getting shit. So it goes to show you how powerful America truly is, man. All right? They only care, these Edomites only care about themselves. And if they don't get what they want, everybody catches hell. Because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Right. You're supposed to be seeking the Lord, man. It's 2019. Look what's going on within America and abroad. There's no hope for Babylon. This place is done. You're supposed to be seeking the God of Israel. All right? The Holy One of Israel. Getting into these scriptures. Following the law, statutes, commandments to the best ability. Calling on the name of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Repent. Because this is the only way out. Not this government. Damn sure not these devils, these Edomites that run it. All right? Verse 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Right, man. This place works nothing but iniquity. And these people are just nothing but evildoers, and the Lord is going to judge this place, man, for all its atrocities that is done under the sun. Verse 3, now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that hopeth shall fall down, and they all shall fall together. Right? You're all going to fall, man. You're all going to fall. Whatever little resource the government can give you, that's going to come to naught. The Lord's breaking down America. And if you can't see it, you're wicked. Last scripture and I'm going to close out. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked is pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in devices that they have imagined. Right. You're persecuting the poor, you Edomites. And through your pride, you think that this isn't going to affect you. But guess what? This government shutdown is going to affect you. All right? Because this is going to cause a crazy storm with the economy. Keep watching Wall Street. Keep watching the financial channels, all right? Bad times is coming for this place. All right? And in your pride, you don't think it is. But guess what? The Lord is breaking down America bit by brick. Verse 3. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. Right. The Lord is away from you Edomites. The Lord don't give a damn about, okay, your people. And that's why he's bringing down America. $21 trillion in debt. And this government shutdown is affecting you too. All right? You're going to see it. Get ready. The long-term effects of it. Verse 4. The wicked through the pride of his conscience will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. Right? Because these devils, people like Donald Trump, these Edomites, they're not thinking about the God of the Bible. They're not thinking about all the wickedness they're doing to the Lord's chosen people. They only care about themselves and what they can get out of, okay, this government shutdown. They're not caring about the needy, the poor. That's why the Lord is going to judge you Edomites, man. Verse 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far beyond above his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Right, he's puffing at us right now. Yeah, look what I'm doing to these Edomites. Look what I'm doing. Well, first of all, hey, that was spirit right there. He's oppressing his own people. His own people are catching it too. The low-level Edomites, the six-pack Joes. But mainly us, the Israelites. He's puffing up at us like, yeah, look what I'm doing to them. All right? And he thinks he can get away with it. Verse 6, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Right? He doesn't think he can be touched. That's why he has his government shutdown. Look at Donald Trump. He doesn't give a damn about this government shutdown, how it's affecting the people. Look at these Democrats, these Republicans. They're out there on vacation having a good time, all right? A lot of these Democrats are in Puerto Rico. They don't think they're going to be affected by this government shutdown, this judgment that's coming to them, all right? What they're doing, all right, to the poor, the needy. Last verse, verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Right, and that's these devils, these Edomites. So if you keep trusting these Edomites, man, you're going to get hurt badly. All right? Because they are deceitful and they commit nothing but fraud. All right? And they hurt the poor and the needy. They oppress. They use oppression. All right? To hurt the poor and the needy. To vex them. Really? A government shutdown? Because you can't get your wall? What does the wall have to do with the Native Americans? Okay, guaranteed funds that you wrote in these treaties. That's why you never trust thy enemy. Never trust them. So Lord willing is edifying. Once again, hey, man, the Gadites, the Native Americans being oppressed. Hey, this attractive Gadite woman is breaking it down, how her people are being affected. And yeah, man, you know, this is what happens when you trust in a nation that cannot help you, that they ain't help, man. You trust it, okay, ask for help for Egypt. All right? So Lord willing is edifying once again, all right? This should be a wake-up call to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the tribes, who are the different tribes, okay, of Israel. All right? 12 tribes, all right? And you all come from those 12 tribes. So with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ukah, Kudash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. Salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushui's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep enduring, keep the faith. And with that, Shalom.